Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Robbie Basel Show. You already know who I am. I'm Robbie Basel, and before I start with today's content and what to go over for today, a big thank you to everyone for the support from the reel that was on my Instagram from Wednesday about myself, or Tuesday or Wednesday. I forgot when I even posted it at this point. When I was officially about me making my ESPN debut a week from Saturday. And sorry, my voice sounds really bad. I have a little bit of a cold, I believe. So hopefully that's gone before next Saturday. But there's a lot to talk about. And thank you guys from me so much for the support. It's a big motivator for me, And listen, it's the start of something new for me. And I got hopefully take the opportunity and run with it. You know what I'm saying? But we have a lot to talk about today, so let's dive right into them. Just like some people were diving into the puddles outside, because if you know where I am, so I'm in New Rochelle. We had classes canceled after 11 o'clock due to the rain today. Where I saw people like diving into puddles and stuff earlier as a joke. But let's dive right into this, and we are starting with the Prem, because that's what we've done for most of these episodes now, is start with the Prem, and we're going to go into some of the key games for this weekend, because there's a lot of them. So I'm not going to waste your time. Let's dive right into this. So we're starting with Villa and Brighton. Now, Villa-Brighton, I like this matchup a lot because Brighton has been a solid team this season. They've surprised a lot of people. They are currently in the table in third. They lose McAllister, they lose Caicedo. What do? They're still in third. They're a competent team, a current Champions League position team. Now, if you saw my prediction video with Dylan, neither of us, well, I didn't have this coming. Dylan had them in like 6th, but I had them in 10th. So they're proving me wrong for sure. But Brighton, a competent team. They score a lot of goals. They scored 18 goals, which is the most in the Premier League, I believe, for this season. And they have the second highest goal difference. So this Brighton team is not going to, the Seagulls are going to not be one to mess around. They're not going to be messing around, the Seagulls, this season. But they're playing a solid Aston Villa side, who, to give them some credit, they have played a couple of interesting matches to begin their season. I mean, they're in their Europa Conference League. Like, they're doing all this stuff now. I mean, good for them for being in the Conference League, first of all. They did lose their opener to Legia Warsaw, which, what the hell? I mean, I didn't expect this to come. But the fact that they followed it up and beat Chelsea away, big ups to Aston Villa. Now, Chelsea actually scored a goal this week, but, they've had a very interesting schedule, Aston Villa. They beat Burnley, they beat Everton, they lose to Newcastle. You knew that was going to happen. But you followed up during the week with a loss to Everton after beating them earlier in the year in the Cup. Listen, it's a little bit of concern from Villa, but after this match, they get the Conference League matchup on Thursday. But you're hoping that the schedule gets easy for Villa. They play Nottingham Forest, they play Luton Town, they play Wolves. West Ham's going to be a little bit of a problem. Fulham doesn't score many goals. This can be a stretch where Brighton really starts to emerge and say, yeah, we can beat the bad teams. We're going to be up there in the Premier League to the first, 2-3 months, which is very impressive from Brighton. From Villa, excuse me. I mean, Villa can get this done. They can be top 4 along with Brighton. So now Villa and Brighton, I think, will be a fun one. I do think this is going to end in a draw. 2-2 is my prediction for this one. But we'll head to, I think, the matchup of the day. Actually, that's later matchups. The match of the day. We'll go into a matchup that I think is heavily underrated because you all know the team I support, Arsenal. They're playing Bournemouth. Now, Bournemouth are not ones to mess around. And Dylan talked about them a lot in the preview video. And I was able to watch a couple of Bournemouth games before I went to college. This team will be able to handle, at least in the first half, a top-level squad. They did it with Liverpool in the first half. I mean, listen, they've played some interesting matches. They draw Chelsea. They draw Brentford. You go out and you win a couple of matches in the Cup. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they went out and beat Stoke, I believe, during the week, which big ups to them. But now you go out. I mean, let's look at their form for this season. Also, sorry if there's any background noise. I don't think there should be any. There's a lot going outside right now. But, they opened the season with West Ham. which was a draw. Then they lose to Liverpool. Then they lose to Tottenham, which is unfortunate. They beat Swansea in the Cup. Back-to-back draws before losing to Brighton, which they're the third best team in the league. What do you want them to do? And you beat Stoke in the Cup again. They did get a terrible draw in the Cup, getting Liverpool again, which I feel a little bit bad about. But listen, Bournemouth are in a position as well where they could possibly make a move over the next couple of weeks. I mean, after Arsenal, which you expect to be at least, I think it could be a possible draw. I feel like this could be a trap game for Arsenal. They get Everton, they get Wolves, they get Burnley. So this could be a little bit of changing of the ties, I think, for Bournemouth. I think they're in a spot where they could possibly do it. But this Arsenal team will not mess around. I mean, the player who I like to watch out for is Semenyo, Tavernier, Philip Billing in the middle, Christine, the central defensive midfielder role. There's some players that you can maybe know, but the problem for me right now with this team is I think they're going to be playing a lot of backups in this match. We may see the starts of players like Reece Nelson, which, granted, Reece Nelson is not bad, people. Reece Nelson is competent, but, I mean, you're playing in a match against Bournemouth. I think this could be a trap game. I'm interested to see if they remove some players ahead of I believe, Arsenal plays in the Champions League this week. So, in light of that Champions League matchup, what are you going to prioritize? Granted, it's Lens away, but after that, for Arsenal, this is a very tough stretch. Champions League match, City, Chelsea, Champions League match again. And then you fall into a matchup with Sheffield United. I think that should be a win for them as well. Arsenal as well. They get West Ham and then Newcastle and then Champions League again. This will be a tough stretch for Arsenal. And it's the first big time. Sorry about that. If you can hear that, I do have removed background noise on, but it's just weird to hear all the fired. I mean, because with the window. It's later. But back on the Arsenal, they're in this position where this team is going to need to prove themselves. Can they go out and beat the struggling Chelseas? Can they go out and get a point against City in a couple of weeks? That'll be a matchup for sure that I'm going to be talking about next week. But no, I don't know if I'm going to talk about the Champions League matchups on Monday. So I probably will. I'm not even sure. So I'm just going to talk about them today because next video, I already know my next video. Just to make the statement now because I have a lot of stuff in my mind. MLB preview video is the next video. So if you want to hear the NFL's week recap, make sure to tune into the Stands next Thursday. We'll definitely be talking about it there. And of course, Into the Stands is MLB's playoff prediction after the wild card round will be on that episode next Thursday. The link from yesterday's episode will be in the description. But Arsenal are in a weird situation. They get Lens on Tuesday. So yeah, like I said, interested to see who they play. I do think Arsenal's going to win, but it's only going to be about 1 or 2-1 or 1-0, I think. Other 10 a.m. matchup to watch out for. I think this is going to be an interesting one. Manchester United are in a situation where they lost another player. They lost Lisandro Martinez. And they could be starting a lineup of Onana and net with Dalot, Varane. I'm surprised Varane's back already. Lindelof, Amrabat, Eriksen, Casemiro, Fernandes, Mount, Rashford, and Højlund, according to the predictions from FootMob. This lineup is not bad, guys. And it's carried by Højlund, Fernandes, and Rashford. That triangle from the two outside central attacking midfielders. And, of course, the number 9 in Højlund. They go up against a Crystal Palace team that you got to give them some credit. They don't score a lot, but they don't concede. I think this is a 0-0 draw. Unless United can find a way to score, Crystal Palace is not scoring unless it's like a penalty. So, United, they're going to need to put up 1. If they put up 1, they're going to win. That's simple. The time to talk about the matchup, I think one of the biggest matchups of the weekend, it's Tottenham and Liverpool. Another derby matchup between two of the big 6 clubs in England. Listen, I could talk about this matchup all day, but I think the biggest reason that Tottenham are in the situation they're in with how well they're playing is putting Son Heung-min as the number 9. I think it's been a big upgrade for them at the number 9. They had Richarlison. It ain't working. This is the predicted lineup of Vicario, Pedro Porro, Christian Romero, Mickey Van de Ven, and Udogie with Sarr, Basuma, and the central defensive midfielder roles. Kulusevski, James Maddison, Solomon, and then Son Heung-min. So, Tottenham, they've have not many major injuries. Perisic out till 2024. Bentancur out, so that's a couple of unfortunate players and possibly missing this game. They're going up against a Liverpool team that, listen, they're in great form as well. Both teams, this is a top 4 matchup. The winner of this match will be in second or third. Big implications for this match. I mean, heck, if City find a way to drop points to Wolves, Liverpool could be in first. So a lot on the line in this matchup. My prediction for this match, I'm going to see a Son Heung-min goal for Spurs. Could win it, but Salah's going to get one late. 1-1 draw is my prediction for that matchup. It's going to be a fun one, though. It's at 12:30 on Saturday. Sunday, I believe there's only one matchup. There's one matchup on Sunday. It's Nottingham Forest and Brentford. I like that matchup a lot for both teams, really. Nottingham Forest, a club that has, they struggled a little bit to start. Both sides are struggling a little bit to start the year. They both haven't scored a lot of goals. Both teams have a goal difference of 0 or a negative number. So I'm interested to see how they battle each other. It's a somewhat intriguing matchup for if you want to wake up early, want to go watch a Premier League matchup. This is your only one to watch out for, but I think it's going to be a fun one. I do like Brentford in this match, though. Watch it. My player to watch for this team, listen, for this player to watch for this matchup, excuse me. They don't have a lot of notable players, but Brian Mbeumo, I like him a lot. I'm going to go with him as my player to watch in this game. And then Monday in the Prem, you have Fulham and Chelsea. I think this is a draw. Listen, Fulham don't score goals. Chelsea struggle to score goals. So with the talent that both of these teams could have, I think this is a 0-0 draw. So not the most intriguing matchup. But now we're going to go. Oh, and this is also a Premier League matchup on Tuesday. Burnley and Luton Town, the battle of the relegation teams. The battle of the newly promoted sides at Luton Town. I think Luton can win this match. I'm serious. Burnley, I don't know. I was really high on them in the season prediction video, but listen, to prove yourself matchup. First battle of the championship teams. I'm interested to see how that plays out. But we'll head to the Champions League next. And what are my matches to watch for this week? We'll open on Tuesday. There's a lot of good ones. But I'm going to start off with my favorite matchup of the week, which is in Naples. It's Napoli-Real Madrid. Who doesn't like a matchup like this? The two best teams, I think, from this group with Napoli and Real Madrid. Two teams that are going to go head-to-head and will have a lot of fun. This game, I think, is going to be absolute chaos. I'm going to quickly look as I to find my prediction for this game from my Champions League prediction video. I did have this as a draw, and I would stick with that. I think that playing in Naples will be a problem for Real Madrid. Listen, they struggled with Union Berlin, only won 1-0, possibly proving Union Berlin's legitimacy in this tournament, even though it's very early on. So I think this will end up in a draw, but I think this match is going to be a lot of fun on match day too. Anticipate a lot of high energy. It's a high stakes matchup, but listen, I think this one will be a lot of fun to watch. Other matchups to watch in this group, listen, Man United Galatasaray is a trap game for United, possibly. And listen, having a matchup in Old Trafford, I think, I don't know, I just don't like United's depth enough to give this as an automatic win. That's just my thoughts on it. I think this could be a win for United. I think a lot of people are surprised that I'm not saying it's an automatic win for United because Galatasaray, they ain't going to be messing around. They had a struggle against Copenhagen in match day 1, but listen, it's one of those matches where you just get your feet wet, start to try and get back into that form that you need to get out of a Champions League group. What other matchup to talk about for Tuesday? Listen, Inter Benfica. I think Inter Milan and Benfica in the San Siro will be the energy, the stakes are high in this group because Inter choked it and drew. Benfica choked even more. They lost to Salzburg in the opening match day. Benfica got a red card. They lost 2-0. Listen, I'm intrigued to see that result as well. Though Salzburg Sociedad will also be good, but Inter and Benfica, listen, I think this is going to be an Inter win, but maybe my Champions League predictions may have had that one different. On Wednesday, both Group F matchups are two to watch out for. You start up with Dortmund-Milan. Listen, hear me out. This is a must-win for both of them. Because if this ends in a draw, and say Newcastle beats PSG somehow, which I don't see happening, PSG could be running. If PSG wins, then PSG will be in a position to comfortably get out of this group, something that we really didn't expect. So both of these teams, someone in Milan or Dortmund needs to win this game. They don't know how big of an impact it, because if someone wins, they will make a run at PSG to win this group. Unless you want to see PSG choking in the round of 16 as the getting out of this group, one of these two teams, Milan or Dortmund, will need to win. I don't know who it's going to be, though. That's the issue. I really don't know who it's going to be. Other matchups to watch out for: Porto, Barcelona will be a lot of fun. Atletico Madrid, Feyenoord, I think, will be an enjoyable matchup as well. And then Leipzig, Man City. Listen, I said this is the only matchup that City drop points in is away to Leipzig. I'm interested to see what the German crowd is like for this matchup. But it's a lot of fun matchups to watch in the Champions League this week, from the Premier League this weekend to the Champions League this week. But also, we have an international break, I believe, coming up in a couple of weeks. So a lot to talk about in soccer. And of course, by the way, for reference, I am going to be doing a international break recap in November, most likely November, or recap in October. I don't know yet. Recapping the last couple of international breaks. We're going to head to one type of football to the other type of football in the NFL, and a lot to watch out for this week. I'm very excited for these matchups. We'll start off with the matchup from last night. And listen, I was high on the Packers on Into the Stands last night. And I could not have been more wrong, because the Lions went up 27-3 at the half. Jeez. And listen, Jared Goff had a great game, but David Montgomery stole the show for me. 32 carries for 121. Jeez, man, he go crazy on everyone. Amon-Ra St. Brown only 5 for 56. So David Montgomery was really the star of the show. Concerns for Jahmyr Gibbs. He's not getting the touches he needs to prove himself as a legit running back in the league yet. I don't know. For me, it's looking like a waste of a pick, but I'm just not high on drafting running backs in the first round. But the Packers are really the ones who should have drafted Jahmyr Gibbs at this point, because their running game is awful. 27 total rushing yards from Aaron Jones, A.J. Dillon, and then Jordan Love had negative 2 yards. Romeo Doubs had a great game. Christian Watson came back and only dropped 2 for 25 concerning my fantasy team. But he did drop a touchdown, though, so it makes me feel a little bit better. But listen, the Packers' defense, a lot of concerns for me about them. I mean, if you now look at this division standings, the Lions with this win, the Lions I believe, are 3-1. Yeah, I mean, you go out, you beat the Falcons, you beat the Chiefs. It may have been, and then you lose in overtime to the Seahawks. The Lions are proving me wrong, man. And I did not expect this to come out of the Detroit Lions. I'm serious. I mean, they're putting up a great fight, great win for Detroit. But we head now to the Sunday games, and we open with the Toy Story game, I believe. Is this the Toy Story game? Hold on a second. I'm just trying to make sure of something. Because, yeah, this week is the Toy Story game. So if any of y'all like Toy Story out here, Falcons Jaguars is going to be, I think it's on ESPN Plus or something else. But they're going to be getting like Toy Story. I think that's kind of cool. It's kind of weird that they're doing it now, but because Toy Story isn't as popular now as what it used to be. But man, I'm not against it. If I had an ESPN Plus with me here now, I would watch that. Possibly watch that. No, good morning, welcome to London. Here's your Toy Story version of a football game. I'm not against it. I'm really not against it. People, they think it's cheesy or whatever. Listen, I'm all for it. I like the creativity. The creativity is off the charts. But what are my games to watch for this week in the NFL? And you cannot talk to me about games to watch out for without mentioning Miami Buffalo. You can't. You just can't do it. I mean, the Dolphins. Wow, they've put on a show. I mean, you go out and you win 70-20 against the Broncos. Broncos country. Some fans may want to die now because, listen, losing by 50 with Sean Payton as your head coach and hopefully revived Russell Wilson, not good for them. I mean, listen, what do I expect to happen? Bills Mafia will be in full force. I'm worried about that for Miami. I mean, let's look at who they've played. Miami opened with the Chargers. But they're 2-0 on the road, though, playing two possible playoff contenders. I like this matchup for both teams. You can make an argument for both teams. But listen, this one's too hard to pick. I want to make a pick. It's too hard to pick. I'm going to leave it up to you guys in the comments to see. Or on Instagram if you want to DM me your answer for that one. It's a good matchup, though. It's going to be the game to watch out for this week in the early session for sure. Underrated games to talk about? Listen, you can make an argument that the Bears-Broncos, the battle of the 0-3s will be interesting. I think this could be the game we see Justin Fields emerge. But for now, I'm not sure yet. Not buying it yet. That the Justin Fields hype. So the Bears had a lot of unnecessary hype. Well, my thoughts about them, and you could take it like this. Remember when the Jets last year went like 4-2 or 5-2, and people started to get the hype around them, and then they choked it? It's similar to the Bears because they had all that hype entering the season, and they're just not delivering. If the Bears are more under the radar, I think the Bears, confidence-wise and team-wise, would possibly be in a better position. With the hype around them and the popularity they're getting, that's what's really holding this team back. You can argue it's Justin Fields, but listen, that offensive line, the defense ain't helping him. They played a good team in the Taylor Swift-led Kansas City Chiefs last week, but listen, I think this could be an interesting one. I ain't picking the Bears to win, but you want to talk about a matchup that's underrated? Listen, this could be a game where the Texans really put themselves on a map if they beat the Steelers. And CJ Stroud is really proving to me that he could have been the number one pick in the draft. I'm serious. Because look at this guy. CJ Stroud has gone over. What's his numbers now? I mean, they're 1-2. But this dude, I mean, look at the Colts team, 380 yards. He goes out, beats Trevor Lawrence and Jacksonville. Are the Texans going to be this year's Jets where they just come out of nowhere and make some noise in the beginning of the year and choke it? Listen, I wouldn't hate that. Texans, I don't even think I think they might have they may have 1 first-round pick or 0, so might as well make some noise. But Will Anderson's been pretty solid as well, I believe. So that game's going to be underrated, but I almost forgot about Ravens-Browns. And I think I heard one podcast make a joke about this where I think my good friend Dylan Shallum was on it, where someone made a joke about that game being a lock for either team, depending on who's at home. Listen, this ain't a lock for anyone. This game is very unpredictable. And you want to look at Deshaun Watson at home. I think the Ravens are going to be in an interesting spot. It's going to be a battle of defense. I am picking the Browns to win this, though. The shocker of the day, the Browns will win this game. 17-10 is my predicted score. Upsets, Minnesota, I think it will get back on track, but there's a couple other games to talk about as well. In the 4 o'clock session, there's 3 games: Cardinals, Niners, Pats, Cowboys, and Raiders, Chargers. My favorite one out of them all. Listen, the Patriots are coming off a nice win. You could say it's a nice win, but a weird win, I'll call it that. Even though it was expected against the Jets. The Cowboys are coming off losing to the Cardinals, so either team's trying to make a statement after an interesting previous week. So I think that will be a nice matchup. Can Mac Jones and the Patriots prove that they can be playoff contenders, or will Dallas come back and prove that Dallas is back to earth and kind of a possible fluke, or will Dallas prove their legitimacy? It's going to be fun. But the Raiders and Chargers, listen, both of those teams have gone off to weird starts. Brandon Staley probably on the hot seat. Josh McDaniels should be on the hot seat. So the battle of the coaches on the hot seat, I think, will be the tail of the tape for that one. I do have the Chargers winning. 24-7 is my score. Players to watch out for. I mean, you got to go Keenan Allen again. But hold on. I just got him. No, my player to watch for is shout out to my man Ben Gantz, who's been high on Donald Parham, the tight end. Give me a touchdown for Donald Parham in this game. That's my player to watch out for. Then, listen, the Cardinals game, I think, is a trap game for the Niners. possibly, if it was in Arizona, because it's not in Arizona, and I think the Niners are going to win 31-6, or 31-7. Player to watch out for that game. You got to go CMC, right? You got to go with CMC, right? Sorry about that, guys. Yeah, he's got a nice, cool flash flood warning on my phone. So apologies about that. But listen, the Niners are going to win 31-7. Player to watch out for is CMC. But Chiefs Jets is also on Sunday night. It's Sunday Night Football this week. It's Zach Wilson versus Taylor Swift, and I am scared. I am very scared. However, this won't be a blowout. I don't think it's going to be a blowout because listen, the Jets defense held the Patriots last week. They've been able to hold a team like Buffalo. Can they hold a team without a real receiver other than Travis Kelce? I'm interested to see what they put on Kelce, though. Could they put sauce on him as a joke? Put your tall, lengthy corner against a tall tight end, tall, aggressive tight end. I mean, the receivers to watch out for them could be Sky Moore. I mean, unless I'm forgetting somebody. Kadarius Toney, maybe? So, listen, I think the tail of this game could be the Chiefs' running game, but I do expect Travis Kelce to catch at least one touchdown. Final score for this game, give me 20-14. We'll go 23-14, the Chiefs. Though, watch out for Zach Wilson to throw a touchdown. Zach Wilson over one touchdown, for sure. Though also over one turnover. And the Giants Seahawks, must-win game for the Giants. Give me the Seahawks. Listen, Geno Smith, revenge game again. This guy has been, after his week 1 struggle, has been phenomenal. And I'm really backing Geno Smith. Give me this one 27-10. Big day, though, I'm going to go with JSN. Listen, I haven't heard his name much. I'm going to have him catch a touchdown, though. Player to watch out for that game. And we'll head from the NFL now to the Diamond and Major League Baseball. Not many games to go. We have one weekend to go and plus an inning for the Mets and Marlins. And today, let's look at the final series. So what's at stake? Wildcard spots are on the line. And the best way you can characterize this is that no one wants to win. I'm dead serious. The only team that's wanting to make a move right now is Philadelphia. They clinched already, and they deserve to be here. Philadelphia Phillies have clinched the playoff berth. The Orioles won the East. Good for them. Good for them. Well done. I mean, they deserve it. They heavily deserve it. So, listen, AL West still up for grabs with Houston, Seattle. I mean, the Texas Rangers are in first place, but looking I think Seattle plays Texas. Yeah. Listen, if the Mariners find a way to sweep the Rangers, it's possible. It's very possible that the Rangers could be out of the playoffs, but Houston Astros finish off the season with the Diamondbacks. Listen, those two series are going to be something to watch out for because the wild card in the National League, it's still open, guys. And you open with the Diamondbacks. The Marlins are now in the third wild card spot. They conclude their season against the Pirates. Which, listen, the Pirates are not going to let Miami just walk over them. The Pirates are going to cause a couple of problems. And the Cubs, unfortunately, play the Brewers, and the Reds play the Cardinals. Listen, if the Reds sweep the Cardinals, this is the only way they're still in it. Because they choked it. And listen, they're an unproven team. I don't even know if they want to be here. Same with the Marlins. Because they have a lot of unprovens. They may have lost Alcantara. I think possibly lost Alcantara for the season. I'm not 100% sure on that one. So, if you're losing players, then why would you want to... I mean, granted for fan morale, but I don't know. I mean, it's an interesting situation. But the Padres are technically still alive. They're 3.5 back. Well, actually, they're out of it now. The Padres, I believe, were eliminated. So it's down to 4 teams for 2 spots. The Diamondbacks, I believe, can clinch tonight or tomorrow. So it's going to be a dogfight to the end of both wild cards. And I love it. But I think the wild card in the American League, unfortunately, is going to stay the same. National League, Give me the Cubs to jump the Marlins. Because the Brewers have already clinched the division. Why would you want to throw? Why would you not want to rest people? So give me the Cubs over the Marlins, and the Cubs will get the final wild card spot. So it's a lot of fun things to watch out for in the next couple of days. You have also, by the way, update on the Ryder Cup. I almost forgot about that. It's been started today, and the Americans have just been ran off the golf course. You go into, because they switched the format, because the home team gets to choose if you wanted to have foursomes in the morning or four ball in the morning. They went with foursomes, which was unexpected yet smart, because the Americans have always been bad in foursomes. And what have they done? They went out in the opening matches and won 4-0. What did they do in the second round of matches? They won one match and tied the other three. It's 6.5 to 1.5. Wow, the Europeans are making a statement. And listen, Rory McIlroy has been great. If you look at the players who won the foursomes match, Ludwig Aberg and Victor Hovland, I think it's an underrated duo. Those two, I think that's a team to watch out for this week. Rory and Tommy Fleetwood, I think, is also a very solid group. And you look at the afternoon session, Hovland went with Hatton in the second session and tied. John Rahm and Nikolai Højgaard. Nikolai Højgaard making a statement, getting a tie as well with Rahm. Rahm having a clutch eagle on 18. And another clutch player who made a big-time putt on 18 was Victor Hovland. He made a birdie putt from around 20 feet. Big breaker from left to right, and I was able to watch the end of that match. And listen, that was a very clutch putt. Justin Thomas made his putt to tie the match because Jordan hit his ball in the water. So a big statement from Europe in that match. Because all these teams, the way they're able to battle back, like Robert McIntyre and Justin Rose against Max Homa and Wyndham Clark, the Europeans won 3 of the last 4 holes to go out and tie the match. Talk about making a statement. How about having the ability to battle back? And listen, you can talk about in match number 2. The Americans went 1 up through 15, then it was even, then 1 up again, and then it ends even. It's a back and forth game. Match play is a lot of fun. You open tomorrow with foursomes again, the 4-ball before Sunday singles. But listen, I picked the Europeans to win it. I wish the Americans were more in it, but I'm still rocking my pick of Europe. And with that, that's all the time I have for you guys today. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this content, hit the like button down below and subscribe to the channel. But for now, I'm Robbie Basel saying so long. Thank you again for watching. I'll see you guys on Monday. Goodbye, everybody.